going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Blue Crew? This is Ball Hawk, Fatima, the founder of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, long have I viewed into the basketball of fate to foretell the future and the results of tomorrow's Detroit Lions at Kansas City Chiefs football game. And let me tell you, I have spent much time looking into it and understanding what the messages are being said to me. Also, I have a hard time reading with these glasses, so sometimes I got to look a little bit longer. Anyways, I have foreseen that, yes, Jameson Williams will have 1, 2, 3 catches for 97 yards. And Aiden Hutchinson will not be alone in getting to Patty Mahomes, taking him down to the ground with vicious sacks and veracity as the Detroit Lions record 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks. That is correct. Hutchinson will have 2, by the way. And then Aleem McNeil, he will not play in this game, but he will be the number 1 cheerleader on the sidelines many times throughout this contest as the Detroit Lions will roar and claw their way into Kansas City, recording a 42-32 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. Crazy Legs Golf is going to run for 10 yards. Book that one, baby, because you know what? He's been working out. He's been stretching. I think he's rather nimble. And besides that, the Lions may be missing a few people from their secondary, but do not have a second's hesitation as they will stop Patty Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs offense from scoring many points. I am, in case you did not know, Dan O'Damas. I foretell all. I see all. And yes, the officials will throw 13 flags on the Detroit Lions, but it will not matter as, yes, the front offices, Roger Goodell, will be crying in his Mountain Dew as he finds out the Detroit Lions cannot be beat no matter what he does. I am Dan O'Damas. These are my bold predictions. The Detroit Lions offensive line is going to look pretty good too. Mwah! Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank Dan O'Damas for flying on in. Hey, we spare no expense to bring him onto the show. He's always got some good ideas what might happen with the Detroit Lions this upcoming game. But you know what? I'm going to agree with him. Detroit Lions might be a little bit undermanned. We're going to be talking about that. Some difficult decisions, I think, any head coach has got to make when it comes to the season, when it comes to their team. And I do think MCDC is going to have to make a few hard ones tomorrow. We'll talk about that during the main topic today, maybe in a little bit in the 5 headlines now. But make no mistakes, this Detroit Lions team, I don't think it's really constructed on just 1 or 2 aspects of it. I think you got a lot of good players out there. And I think they understand one of the mental aspects about this team. I really like the way it's built. You look at each and every one of the players on it. They're all playing with a chip on their shoulder all the time. You guys all know about St. Brown. He can list everybody who was drafted ahead of him. Gibbs feels like he was slighted by national media. Goff was left for dead. I mean, you can go through everybody on this team, and they all have the same mantra. We're going to prove you wrong. And yes, the Lions might be shorthanded tomorrow, but you know what? They understand that means the national media is not going to jump on them, not going to say that, hey, they should win here because everybody's missing. I think they couldn't be wronger about it. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. Yes, before some of you guys ask, I'm going to do a live cast for it. I know I can't do them all the time anymore, but I can do it tomorrow night. If you guys want to jump in, great. If not, don't worry about it. But we're going to get into all those things. The main topic of the day, the 5 headlines now. Before we do, though, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're 140 subs away from hitting 15,000. Surely would be thankful if you could help assist with that. So if you can do that, hit that subscribe button. While you're hitting that subscribe button, don't be afraid to reach on over, hit the thumbs up, the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but most certainly never least, if you're considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. Been in the industry over 30 years. Try to do my best to make sure you don't get jobbed by anybody. You don't miss any steps. You get a good deal, whether you're buying, selling, listing, whatever it could be, commercial property, vacant land, anything to do with real estate. Go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's get this show rocking, rolling, going, kicking off with 5 headlines now. Before I forget, I'll probably mention this for anybody who watches the show regularly, or at least the next week. So the morning shows, I'll run the normal intros, but any kind of breaking news or middle of the day news, I'll run a shorter intro, try to keep it like under 10 seconds. Some of you guys have reached out and said, hey, could you, speed up the intros? The morning show, I do like to run the longer one, more breaking news, whatever. I'll keep them shorter. Try to listen to your guys' comments and, adhere to them. All right, let's get going with this. The 2025 Lions are a special group that is putting up huge numbers. Story by Josh Petrie of Touchdown Wire, and I couldn't agree more with them. I think we all understand this Detroit Lions team, man, they are scoring points like nobody in the NFL has ever seen. They have the potential by the end of the season to be the highest scoring offense in NFL history. Let that sink in. They're already, as you guys know, we talked about it yesterday's show, on pace to keep up with the greatest show on turf. That would be the 2000 St. Louis Rams, not the LA Rams, but and you get it. The Lions are scoring, and any worries you had entering the season about coordinators, changes, this and that and the other thing, they've probably been put to rest by this point. The Lions, they're tough to stop. They can run the ball, they can throw the ball, they got so many dang weapons all across the field, and it's just putting more and more pressure on opposing teams to try to come up with some way to stop them. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I'll dive into it a little bit more, I guess, now, in that I think you're going to see, because of some potential situations that we'll address during the main topic of the day, I think you're going to see a boatload of 12 personnel from the team. What does that mean? Basically, you're going to have 2 tight ends on the field. Why would you do that? The Lions want to run the ball. The Kansas City Chiefs are not particularly good at stopping the run. So you put that out there, so you put the Chiefs in a bad situation, starting with their safeties. We could spend forever on that. We'll dive into it more during the main topic of the day. But, hey, real quick, expect a lot of that. Let's go on to the next of the 5 headlines now. And that would be, here's why we should keep eyes on Chiefs Juwan Taylor. Lions Amon-Ra St. Brown story by Blair Kurloff of the Kansas City Star. I try to get some stuff from people that aren't Detroit Lions beat reporters. Why? Just a different perspective. What are they seeing? What are their matchups talking about? What do the people, that follow this particular team have to say? When it comes to the Chiefs, they think a lot of the game is going to come down to Taylor versus Aiden Hutchinson. And I do agree with that fully. Taylor's had a up and down start to the season, playing tackle for them. And I think while not as penalized last week, Taylor, throughout the start of this year has had a ton of penalties, jumping off sides, holding, putting the Kansas City Chiefs offense in some bad situations repeatedly throughout the start of the year. Kansas City is not having the greatest start to the season that they would have anticipated. You look at some of their wins, you look at their losses, could they be flipped around? Yeah, but you can probably say that with about every team out there. The Lions are going to take advantage of Taylor, whether it's Muhammad going up against him, whether it's Hutchinson. They're going to try to test out early and see if they can rattle. Because if Taylor does get rattled, I think you're looking at Kansas City offense that's going to have to do things they don't want to do. And anytime as a coach you can achieve that with the other team, you're probably going to be successful. I really like Kansas City's interior offensive line. So their guards, their center, their tackles, I think are suspect, which would also tell me Kansas City, understanding the Detroit's pass rush is pretty decent this year, probably is not making too many 7-step drops, which means deeper shots down the field. You're probably going to allow Kirby Joseph to play a little further back to deter that, keep everything in front of you, which probably helps out with a potentially highly banged up Detroit Lions secondary. We'll see if that holds out. But if KC really wants to take shots deeper down the field, they're going to have to leave in more people to block. I just don't think you can leave either one of those tackles one-on-one with Detroit's pass rush. If you do, Pat Mahomes is probably taking some shots this game. All right, one other thing before we get to the next headline, I want to bring this up for you guys just so we get it out of the way. Head-to-head, we've talked about it forever. To be fair, Jared Goff's actually 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. One of those wins being a preseason game. Hey, take the wins where you get them, right? As far as regular season wins, you guys already know this story, but for those who don't, let's dive into it. Jared Goff's 2-0 against Patrick Mahomes. You see the scores for the teams or the averages, the passing yards. One thing I didn't know is that for whatever reason, Patrick Mahomes gives up the ball against Jared Goff-led teams. Maybe it's because they're trailing and he's trying to come back. I don't know, but we get it. There's only one person in the NFL that can say they have never lost to Patrick Mahomes, and guess who that is? That would be Jared Goff. All right, let's go on to the next of the 5 glorious headlines now. Lions' young core is starting to look like the foundation fans dreamed of. Sideline report, Candace Perez. And you know what? If you look at this Detroit Lions team and you think they're starting to hit their stride, their peak, going to their prime years, you would be right and not alone in that estimation. Lions' young core is shining early in 2025. I don't care if you're looking at Ratledge. I don't care if you're looking at Campbell. I don't care if you're looking at Brian Branch. You guys get it. Everybody on that team who's been drafted and really developed into the roles they now hold with the team, they are looking like elite players. You saw the quarter of the season report from multiple different outlets saying, hey, Lions have a top 10 quarterback, running back. You get it. You guys got awards everywhere. You look at when Aleem the Dream McNeil gets back, he's going to be one of, assuming he gets back to form, won't have a drop off. But probably before the playoffs, he will be in the league's conversation for a top 10 defensive tackle. You could say DJ Reader, maybe not for pass rushing purposes, but he is a top 10 run stuffer. And from there, you can just go throughout the entire unit. This Lions team is built for this year and probably the next couple years, and who knows after drafts. But we've been waiting a long time as Lions fans to see guys really step up, do different things. You see what St. Brown's doing. He's having a monster start to his year. You can look at the offensive line. We already kind of mentioned some of them, but Penei Sewell, not to leave him out. You guys get it. He may be the best offensive lineman in the entire NFL and maybe the best of the last, say, decade or so. So he's a generational talent. There are so much talent, and we haven't even mentioned Gibbs or Montgomery, for goodness sake. There's so much talent on this team. I think it's going to be difficult for anybody to really keep up with the production this year, maybe next year. Beyond that, wait and see. Often we talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and what a great job they've done constructing teams. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I also think the more we watch them play this year, they have some holes, and teams are starting to take advantage of that, especially when it comes to the Philly offense. This isn't Philly channel, so I'm not going to dive all into it, but you can see what defensive coordinators are doing to the Philly offense, and they're having some struggles with it till they figure it out. Everybody and the mother who watches this team says, hey, you got to stop the run. If you want to stop the Lions, we can't stop the run, or if you overload the run, what keeps happening? Goff in this passing attack just chews you alive. You can only put so many guys in the line of scrimmage before you leave everybody out there in that secondary out to dry. So if you don't have great people out there who can, at least win 70% of the time in man-to-man coverage, and that's no small task with the rules we all now know about the NFL, it's just difficult to stop the Lions. Again, talking about 12 personnel, we're going to be talking about that more than the main topic of the day, so pay attention if you would please. All right, Lions announced some bad news before the Chiefs game. Athlon Sports, then Max Esperado with this one. And yes, we will directly tie this one into the main topic of the day. So without further ado, let me bring this up. Injury report. If it's too small on your screen, let me see if I can make it. I guess it doesn't really help at all. But I'll just read through it for those who maybe can't read it. Terrion Arnold, you guys probably suspected this, but he's out for this game. Zach Cunningham out. McNeil out. Vaki out. That's nothing new. Vaki's, he's getting some good paychecks to be an NFL player and never play. But here's where it starts really becoming a bit of a topic for the Detroit Lions. Brian Branch, questionable. Taylor Decker, questionable. Kirby Joseph, questionable. Avonte Maddox, questionable. Giovanni Manu, questionable. Khalif Raymond, questionable. This is going to be something if a couple of these offensive linemen can't play, let alone some of the guys in the secondary. And even though I think most of us suspect Kirby Joseph will play, you don't know. And it's going to be a tough thing for the Lions coaching staff. What do you do with some of these injured guys? Again, we'll talk about this during the debate topic of the day. All right, last of the 5 headlines now. Lions compare Jack Campbell to all-time great NFL linebackers. Detroit Lions on S side, John Macarone with this one. And are they wrong to do so? I don't think it's so at all. We talked about it, I want to feel like within the last week about Jack the Hammer Campbell. I think he's pretty good. I now think he is firmly in the top 10 for the NFL linebackers. Just his range, his abilities, what he can do. They compared him to a couple of different guys. They compared him to, just a couple of different Hall of Famers. And I don't think you're wrong to do it at this point. I think a lot of them do kind of hold water to what you're seeing on the field with them. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? Man, you could have a all-day debate on that one. Is he the best Lions overall linebacker on the team? I'd say yes right now. Some are comparing him, including Lions people, to Luke Kuechly, Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis, and there's probably a degree of truth to each of those guys. Urlacher, for those who don't remember or didn't ever know, he was a safety in college. When the Bears drafted him, they moved him linebacker, asked him to hit the workout a little bit, put on some weight, and what he did is he just added a ton of speed and coverage ability to that position. They basically just allowed him to roam the middle of the field and just, take away that part of the field from an offense. So that's a major part of an offense. Kuechly, a little different than Urlacher. Go downhill a little bit better, stuff the run better than Urlacher. He could get after the quarterback too. His biggest problem was he just had 50,000 different concussions. Hope he's doing well in life. Ray Lewis, compared to all these guys, he was just a nightmare to stop because he could understand the play faster than anybody else on the field and on the defensive side and just shut it down. He could play the pass. He could lay the wood. He could cover. He could stop the run. I mean, there just was no fault in his game. That's why they're all Hall of Famers to a degree. With Jack Campbell, do I think he's all those guys? A mixture of it, and I think this report kind of does a good job of diving into it. He's really, in the last, 12 months, kicked his game up another level. Do I think he's, I'll use Madden terms here, do I think he's a 100 or a 10 out of 10 player? I think he's getting closer and closer to the mid-9, so a 9.5 out of 10. You could say he's a 9 right now. Come down to your own grades. I just don't see the fault in his game. You could say his rookie year, he reacted a little slow, was still figuring out things. You could see his decision-making was a little delayed, but that's typical of rookies. Last year, though, about halfway through the year, I thought he really turned on the Jets and became much, much better. He rushes the quarterback a little bit this year, not as much as his first couple years. He shuts down the run left and right. He's getting far better in the passing game as far as coverage. I think he's pretty good in zone. I think his man is, it needs some work, but when you're split hairs on him, who do you really have in the league that's overall better than him? There are guys that play certain aspects of linebacker or are asked to do certain things in that department that may be better than him. But as far as a totality, I do think we have to face facts that Jack Campbell may be the best overall linebacker who can do a little bit of everything. Maybe not the best at any one particular thing, but as far as a complete package, he might just be the best there. All right, with all that done, out of the way, let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. Let's break down this game. And yes, while we're breaking down the game, at the end of that, we're going to have to dive into some difficult decisions I think the coaching staff's going to have to make tomorrow. Might not want to hear it, but we're going to have to do it if we're going to think about the postseason, the Super Bowl, etc. Let's get over to the main topic of the day. All right, first thing I want to do is I want to break down the comparisons of these two teams. We'll start at the quarterback room. If you would have asked me last year, the year before, who's the better quarterback, which team has the advantage, I would have said, the Kansas City Chiefs. It's no disrespect to Jared Goff, but it is, I think Patrick Mahomes was better than Jared Goff. This year, not so much. I'm trying to be as fair as I can be, even though I'm a Lions content creator, right? I just see that it's not all Patrick Mahomes. There are other aspects in play. Some of it's the receivers. Kelsey's not what he once was. The offensive line isn't as strong. There isn't much of a discernible running game for Kansas City. But all these things affect the product on the field. The quarterback position is a part of the product on the field. I would actually say right now, trying to be as fair as I can be, I think it's a push. I think they're different quarterbacks, but I do think Goff and Mahomes, I don't see one being better today than the other. Now, over their career, Patrick Mahomes. The last couple of years, Patrick Mahomes. Running game, it's all Detroit, and it's not even close. The Detroit Lions, on a scale of 1 to 10, they're a 10 out of 10. Kansas City's running games, I'll be respectful here and say a 7 out of 10. I just don't think they're doing enough there. Some of that's the run blocking assignment. Some of it is their running backs currently just don't offer a threat. Maybe that's a polite way to word it. I'm going to throw in the tight ends and the wide receivers in the same group. It's Detroit. It's Detroit, and it's not close. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs guys have some phenomenal speed, God-given talent speed. things you can't replicate in a silence lab type speed. But there's a lot more to being a receiver than just speed. Speed don't hurt, though, let me tell you. Jerry Rice is probably the best example I can give you this. When he went through his pro day, he ran a 7.4. So that is slow. That is Jared Goff's 40-yard dash time. I think everybody would agree, if you remember watching Jerry Rice, and I get that's a billion years ago, he's one of the best receivers in NFL history, so speed wasn't the only factor to it. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not particularly the fastest guy on the field, but you know what he does? He gets open, he catches the ball. He also blocks pretty well too. I think Lions overall have a better wide receiving core, and yes, that would extend to the tight end position. And again, no disrespect to Kelsey, I just don't think he is what he once was. I actually think Sam Laporta at this point in his career is a better tight end than Travis Kelce. Offensive line, boy, I really like their Kansas City's interior offensive line, the guards, the centers. I would say from that component, they're equal to Detroit, maybe even slightly better. The tackle position is not close, in my opinion. If Taylor Decker plays, along with Penei Sewell, it's all Detroit Lions. So I'm just going to say it's a push between the offensive lines. Defensive lines, it's also a push, in my opinion. I get Kansas City's defensive line hasn't performed the greatest all season, but I also think they're pretty good at some aspects of the game. Shutting down the run has not been a strong suit for this team this year. I do think they're going to have to overcommit tomorrow night because of it. Goff is going to see some favorable fronts. Those receivers are going to see some favorable situations. I also think Spagnuolo, who blitzes more than anybody else in NFL history for a defensive coordinator, I think he's in a tough spot. He needs to get to Goff to stop the passing attack. If he can't get to Goff, the secondary for Kansas City is just going to get chewed alive. They don't have a lot of good talent out there. Spoiler alert for when I break them down. So I think Spags is almost forced to have to play coverage and just let teams or let the Lions try to dink and dunk their way down the field. If not, I think the Lions can take some kill shots against them. So if Detroit gets up by 14, 17, 21 points late in the game, Spags is going to have to go after Goff. He can't let you pick him apart, which means you're probably going to add on some more points because I just think it's going to favor Detroit. All right, linebackers, Detroit all the way. I'll speed this up here. Secondary, I don't know who's going to play for Detroit, so it's hard for me to say. Because of that, I'm going to assume that a lot of guys for Detroit in the secondary are going to be out. Because of that, I'm going to say Kansas City's got a slight edge there. And if Brian Branch plays, Kirby Joseph plays, then I give the advantage to Detroit. But I don't know that right now, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in depthly here in a second. Special teams, I don't typically break them down. It's not something I want to do. How about that? But I do think we have an advantage at kicker and punter, although, I'm kind of guessing on that since I didn't really pay any attention to Kansas City's. All right, Duke, now for the thumbnail for today, the tough choice I've got, and let me bring this back up. If I'm a coach, are you playing for this week or are you playing for the season? I don't know what's going on with Taylor Decker. We're all being told that, he needs rest during the week to get that shoulder right. So he didn't play him last week. Was that to get him ready for this week and then Tampa Bay? Maybe. But if he can't go and Giovanni Manu, who did not perform great by any stretch of the imagination, can't go, I'm assuming that means Skipper is going to go and be your starting tackle. But are you really feeling more comfortable there? Who would be the backup to Skip if that's the situation? I think it's a scary situation for Detroit. You saw what the Bengals could do, and they did get 4 sacks on Goff and repeated pressure from that spot. You could also see with the blocking assignments for Detroit's offensive line how they had to overcompensate for Giovanni Manu, often asking Christian Mahogany to basically slide over and leave his guard spot, his B gap, to come over and assist with the A gap. That's not ideal. And now that it's on tape, you're going to see Kansas City try to exploit that. Every coach is going to try to exploit that if they run to it. They're probably going to run some overload blitzes on that side. So, again, talking about the 12 personnel, I'm expecting you're going to see a ton of that tomorrow just to protect that the tackle spot for Detroit. You're going to do everything you can if Skipper or Manu is out there and they're not 100%. You're going to try to protect Goff because you don't want him taking hits, which means you do have to change your personnel coverage. You're not going to see a bunch of 3 receiver sets for Detroit. Probably going to see at best 2 tight ends, 1 running back, etc. Detroit's had a good amount of time this week to prep for this. That's the nice thing. And you could even say last week. But what is going on with Taylor Decker? I don't know. But if they do have to sit him for a while, this is going to impact the team. Let me bring the graphic back up because beyond that, if MCDC's got to decide to hold him out, to just really let him rest, I think it's going to extend to Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch too. I don't know they're not going to play, but we're going to find out. And if you don't have those two guys out there, it's because that PCL for Kirby Joseph, let's face it, man, he is, I give him all sorts of credit. He is powering through a lot of pain to be on that field for his teammates, for his team. Brian Branch, I don't think is going to be any different. Whatever the ailment is, and I get some of you guys say, man, I had an MRI, it happens. Okay, but teams don't send you in to get the MRI unless they are worried about something being there. That's just my opinion. It doesn't have to be your opinion. So something's affecting Brian Branch enough to, even though the training staff's working with them on the ankle or the foot, whatever it is, something's going on there where they're saying, hey, we don't detect anything, but he's saying, man, I'm feeling something. So that's why they have to do the MRI to try to see what the eyes can't see. MCDC, what do you do with these two? Do you have them play or do you rest them to try to get them ready for the rest of the season, the playoffs? Last year, MCDC came out and said maybe he put too much value on getting the number one seed instead of resting guys, trying to get them healthy for the playoffs. And I think that lesson, I guess you can say, is going to affect this season. What do you do if you're MCDC? Do you shut down Taylor Decker, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Avante Maddox this week to try to help them heal up and get ready? I probably would. It's an AFC team, not an NFC team. Yes, right now you have an advantage over the Green Bay Packers, so it does give you a little bit of an advantage. They've got to catch you, because they have a tie, not a loss against Dallas. But at the same time, that's a tough part of coaching. Do I want to potentially give away a game? How much value do I put on this game versus the next game? How much value do I see this guy giving us on the field versus letting him rest? And can the next guy, do I have adequate confidence in it? It's a slippery slope. You can't give away wins. You can't give away injuries either. So what do you do, crew, if you are MCDC? I don't envy him at all. And I get every player based on the mental makeup of this team. I have no doubt Taylor Decker saying, man, I'm ready to go. I can play through it, coach. Do anybody here think that Brian Branch is going to tell MCDC, I ain't feeling it today. I want to sit this one out, coach. He wants to play. It's Sunday Night Football. It's Patrick Mahomes. The nation's watching. What's the chances Kirby Joseph and Avante Maddox or Giovanni Manu look over at MCDC or Kelvin Shepard or whoever else and say, yeah, I'd rather sit this game out? No, they're all going to say the same stuff. Players are going to lie. Players are going to lie and say, I'm good to go. And that's where you as a coach have to step in and say, I know you're not. I watched you play this week, practice this week. I'm going to listen to the medical experts, and they're going to tell me what their thoughts are. It's a tough part of coaching, and nobody wants to ever throw away a game. And I'm not saying the Lions can't win if these guys can't play. I think they can still win, but you probably feel a whole lot better about it if all those people are on the field. Then at the end of the day, you got to make a business decision. Is one game worth the next 2 or 3 games? If I give Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Avante Maddox, Taylor Decker this week off, do I now give them Tampa Bay off, knowing that I've got the bye after it? They've almost had a month off at that point. They should be good to go unless there is something major going on with them. Again, you don't want to fall behind in the standings. You don't want to give up any kind of ground to Green Bay. It's a tough slap. What would you do, Crew? Let's see what you guys have to say and get to the Do Crew comment section. All right, let me scroll to the top of the screen. You've heard me rant for a little bit of time. I'm still scrolling. All right, and here we go. Michael D. Greetings, salutations, Coach Dan, Do Crew, exclamation points, one pride, woo, and back at you. Robert, greetings in salutations. Hey, you got to like to be in that. Oh, wow, what a Tigers game. Sad that we lost. Yeah, I did see that. I didn't stay up for all of it. I saw him get out to the lead. I saw some of the middle innings, and I was like, I'll read about the rest in the morning. Mo, good morning, Do Crew. Massive impact. That's what the Lions bring. Exclamation point. Woo! Yes, and I do think because your offense, because you could schematically probably account for Taylor Decker not being in there, I think you could do some stuff to kind of offset that. Plus, Kansas City Chiefs defense might give you some leeway there. The tough part's going to be the Detroit Lions defense. Let's face it, you're facing one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Some, not great receivers, but they have threats about them. What do you do to slow them down? We'll see what Shep comes up with. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Great season, Tigers. I would agree with that. Too bad we had no bats. All about the Lions now, and it would be great before the break to get these next 2 wins. Yeah, if you could get these next couple wins and then get the bye week, wow, that would be a big plus for this team. Robert, well, Gruden picked us to lose to the Chiefs 27-24. I do not agree with him. I believe we will take them out with grit. I like the way you're thinking. Grid also picked us to lose to the Ravens. How did that turn out? I'd say pretty favorably for us. Okay, good morning, Duke Crew. So what does MCDC gave to decide how many points we're going to beat the Chiefs by? Grit got this game! Exclamation point. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Big Eddie, sounds like Chiefs have everyone back at practice yesterday. Yeah, I did see that, 100%. And we've got everyone listed as questionable. You're not wrong. We've got a big list out there. Johnny L, good morning, folks. Back at you. Riley O'Brien, good morning, everyone. Exclamation point. One day closer to game day. Hope everyone has a great Saturday. 100% back at you, my friend. Michael D, let's see. Lions 24, Chiefs 21. Bates field goal ends the game. Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. Man, our defense will have played well if we held them 21. Bo, I believe we achieve another 34 plus points. I believe with that too. I believe in that fully. Johnny L, heck of a game last night. It was, it sounds like. Jerome, Radio Sports have said the Lions haven't played anyone with a pulse. I guess it's time to prove them wrong. Sunday night, he likes KC because of our secondary. Yeah, it could be. I get it. Seems like everybody forgets that the Baltimore Ravens were a threat that game. It's just the NFL with injuries plus the mental aspect of things. Teams change so much from week to week. I think if the Ravens would have won that game, they would have won a few more games, but Lamar's injury also probably has derailed them a little bit. Hookadoo, Johnny L, we've got to bring the grit on Sunday. I like the way you're thinking. Jess, good morning. I swear everyone hating on us because we were winning. Why does the media hate Detroit so much? I think a lot of it is financial reasons. I mean, think about it this way. If a New York team or LA team or probably, a Texas team, Florida team make it into, a spotlight game, there's just more revenue. Where Detroit, it's probably fair to say we don't have the same amount of population or, cash on hand that some other aspects do. Johnny L, you know that we will. Hookadoo, France, in your opinion, this game comes down to running the ball, and if Kansas City can't stop that, if they can't, we will win a shootout. I like the way you're thinking. Hookadoo, 34-24, Lions roar loud. You got to be loud. Yankee, I believe the key to winning the Super Bowl are peptides. Ooh, could be a lot of truth in. I'm sure the wife would concur. Brett, 34-31, Lions, exclamation point. Oh, yeah. Hookadoo, good. Hey, always good to be good. Stephanie, good morning, boys, exclamation point. We are banged up pretty bad, it seems. Just appears to almost have happened overnight. A lot of new faces will need to play well. Yeah, the fact that 3 of your top 4 safeties are all questionable for tomorrow, that's not good. Hookadoo, good morning, Mr. Grip. Brett DeWitt, I agree with all that. Brett, morning, Hookadoo. Johnny L, good morning, Stephanie. Drake, sounds like all KC's busted up receivers were a go in practice yesterday. I was hoping they couldn't play. Yeah, and maybe they will be limited. I mean, most of it is lower legs, but I'm going to guess they'll take the secret sauce of the shot before the game and be able to play through the game. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Back at you. Johnny L, good morning. Oh, Henry. Jess, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. In your opinion, should we really add someone, Coach Dan? Question mark. I look at this year's team as the best rounded I've seen since I started watching them. Yeah, I think overall, when healthy, they're pretty dang good. Should we add players? I think Brian Holmes, like any GM, they're always looking to add talent. If somebody pops up you think would be available that you think really improves the team, you're probably going to try to make a move for it. Johnny L will be just fine. I concur. Hookadoo. Oh, Henry. Do they still make those candy bars? I'm not sure on that. I don't really know. Johnny L, not sure. So long. Coach, you started a membership? I did. Some of you guys reached out about doing stuff, so I did that. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to put in there. My guess would be like video breakdowns of the games, but I have not done that yet. All right, Art Mahomes is dealing with a groin injury. I did see that, so he's maybe not as mobile. That gives our D a slight edge, but I think our offense will have to carry us through this one. I concur. I have faith they will. I think so too. Susan Scott, I want to see what Shep comes up with this game to stop some Mahomes and their offense. I've liked the defense more this year than with Glenn had control. I agree. I mean, he does a lot of good stuff, and that's no disrespect to Aaron Glenn. I like Aaron Glenn. I just did not think, maybe the way to put it is, Aaron Glenn believed in what he believed in. So I'm going to keep it out there, and eventually it'll get right. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I just see with Shep, he makes a lot of adjustments in games. He gives it something, maybe half a drive, and if somebody's burning him with it, he changes the defense during the drive. He makes adjustments, personnel-wise especially. Jessica, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Hookadoo. It's going to be a long day tomorrow waiting for the game. It will be. You got the late game. Johnny L, sleep. All right. Nothing wrong with sleep. Cynthia, good morning, everyone. Exclamation point. And back at you. Good to see you. It feels like it's been a hot second. Jenny L, Good morning to you, Cynthia. I concur. Steve Rogers, yeah, I prefer the 1 p.m. kickoff so we don't have to wait all day. Yeah, I get that 100%. Johnny L. Sock and Knuckles tomorrow night. Oh, yeah, with some exclamation points. JDC, morning all. Cynthia, Johnny L., good morning to you, sir. I agree with you. Be just fine. Exclamation point. I concur with your concurring. Jedi Sith, can we put a rush on Mahomes? I think we can. And again, if you weren't watching with their tackle situation, I think you're going to force Kansas City into a lot of 3-step drops. I don't think you can go 5 or 7 because the rush probably will get home on those tackles. Johnny L., game over. I like it. Torrey Hutch is going to have a big game tomorrow. I feel you are right. Johnny L., Tigers lost in 16 innings. Yeah, one more run would have really changed that, huh? Excuse me, Man Bear, good morning. Back at you. Bo, one play seems to have defined the last Chiefs game in a bad way. Lions won't need, quote, one play, end quote, to define this game. I like the way you're thinking. Look at you. We run the ball and we own the clock. Exclamation point. Sock and Knuckles are going to be knocking on your door, KC. Oh, yeah. I hope they knock that door over. Johnny, hey, Tori, how are you doing today? We'll find out. Mary, good morning, Duke Crew. Happy Saturday, 15 rounds after 1 a.m. I'm tired and we lost. Good game. Now it's time for some football. Let's go, Lions. Yeah, hopefully you get some sleep today, Queen Mary, and catch on up. Drady, people shouldn't be worried about injuries after last year. So what if players are hurt and the Lions went 15-2? Let's make that happen again. Paperback fan, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Good Saturday to all. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Cynthia, our Lions are not intimidated. No, I don't think we are at all. I think we're going to intimidate maybe. Johnny O'Queen, Mary, good morning to you. And back at you. Jim, run the ball, stick to the linebackers, and then hit 15 to 20-yard passes to beat the secondary. Block like never before. That sounds like a good plan to me, Jim. Cynthia, good point. Dre Day, exclamation point. I thought that myself. Dre Day, injuries don't affect this team like other teams. Like Jared said, this team is freaking different, and that grit overcomes everything. I like it. Grit does overcome a lot of things. Hookadoo, Queen Mary, and a fine and beautiful morning to you. Back at you both. Cynthia, good morning, Queen Mary. Mary Smith, good morning, Johnny L. Hookadoo, Cynthia. Jim, control the clock. PM sitting on the bench is a win. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes sitting on the bench would be a big win for us. Kurt Steele, what up, though, Duke Crew? What's up, man? I Steele. Hookadoo. Professor Steele, good morning. Cynthia, good morning, Mr. Steele. Johnny L., it's showtime. Yes, it is. Jim, good morning, all, with an exclamation point. Mary Smith, good morning, Professor Steele. Wayne, look at the QBs who found new life. Goff leads the way. You might be right with that. He might have the best resurrection story in NFL history, or at least he's going to be among them. I think maybe Kurt Warner would be up there. There'd be very few people that can say they've gone through what he went through and then rose to the occasion. He may win the MVP this year. I don't know if he will, but he's going to be in the conversation for sure. Cynthia, Hookadoo, Dan Adamas, the man, the myth. Yes, he was here. Thank you for making that stop. 4 sack attack, exclamation point, laughing out loud, says Brent. Cynthia, all right, 42-32. Yes, I think it will be a higher scoring game. Apparently, Dan Adamas has foreseen another 40-point game for the Lions offense. Trim Reaper, Dan Adamas has spoken, exclamation point. Woo! He has spoken indeed. Same old soup, just reheated. Good morning, Coach Dan the Duku, and back at you, Mary Smith. Who doesn't love the man? 100% loving your predictions. Hey, they are bold predictions, aren't they? Drady, J-Mo will get 2 catches for under 30 yards. No good team will let him catch passes over the top. We'll find out. Okay, I'm on board with Daniel Adams' prediction. Grit wins. You got to love the grit, don't you? Okay, good morning, says Kurt Steele. Cynthia, bah, wah, exclamation point. The trade member, good morning, Coach Dan, the Money Duke Crew, exclamation point. Woo, same to you. William, do you think any of the Sauce Gardner to Detroit Lions trade rumors are have any ground? No, I don't. Sauce Gardner, man, he started his career so on fire. But like every team, you figure out the opponent's strengths, weaknesses. To me, when I watch him this season, it looks like he's lost some confidence. He is using his hands a ton more. I mean, there's a good of a more percentage of the Duke Crew that complain about Terry Arnold using his hands. I don't think getting Sauce Gardner is going to make you feel any better. Right now, everybody's entitled to your opinion. I can only tell you mine. I really like TA. I think he's doing a lot of good stuff. He's only going to get better by third year, fourth year when he's healthy. But I think he's playing pretty dang good cornerback for a second-year guy. Sauce Gardner started off all-world, and now I would say he's actually performing not as well as Terry Arnold. So let that sink in. Bo, a quote, no good team. All right, Dre Day. We'll find out. Dre Day, no chance for Sauce. Leonard, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Back at you, my friend. Kurt, uploading the Boss Up Ball Out prediction show right now. It should be available right after Lions Talk Live. We'll check it out, my friend. Dre Day, correct, Bo. And unfortunately, we play a lot of good teams this year. I think we do. Johnny L. Sauce is not going anywhere. Probably not. Leonard, in my opinion, Branch is think bigger picture. Rest him. We need everyone in January. I agree with that. And I don't know what the MRI said. Maybe I missed it if it was announced, but something's going on. At least he feels something's going on in that lower portion of his leg. Rock, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Kurt Steele, Sauce is not coming to Detroit. AG is not letting his best corner out of the building. I'll go with that. Johnny L, this is fun. You gotta love fun. Mary, good morning, Rock. Dre Day. Another big game for St. Brown receiving-wise, but it's going to be running back game today. It might be. Johnny L., good morning, Mr. Steele. Dre Day, tomorrow night. Yes, tomorrow night. I knew we were going with that. Good morning, says Kurt Steele. Hookadoo, Rock, the master of grit. Jason in Brooklyn. What up, Duke Crew? One pride worldwide. Let's go. Exclamation point back at you. Xavier, good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. Have a blessed and joyful day. Exclamation point. Go Lions. Woo! Hey, we're moving around in here. Trim Reaver, I'm sticking with Cam Jordan as our best possible trade target. Yeah, I would say he would be a good fit. You talk about that defensive line when we get, I know we were talking about with Professor Steele yesterday, you get Aleem back, you're going to get Davenport back. You've got a lot of depth there. But, adding another piece, that wouldn't make me sad. Or if they could add another, say, offensive tackle and then maybe another cornerback. Johnny L., good morning. Xavier, Trim Reaver, good morning. Good morning, Professor Steele. Egon, like the post, damn Damas Swoops looks pretty sharp on you, Coach. Hey, thank you very much. Kurt Steele, the Trim Reaver, good morning. Trim Reaver, Johnny L., what up, though? Brent, ground and pound, win T.O. top, keep Mahomes on the bench. Oh, yeah, exclamation point. Yeah, I'd say that everything you can do to control the game, control the clock, control the other team's offense, that's all going to be good for Detroit. Coach Rock, good morning, grit morning, Mary and Hookadoo. I'm starting to feel a win for tomorrow night. If we all bring the grit, I think we will bring it indeed. Let's see, Trina Conway and Christina Conway, good morning to everyone on this Saturday. Go Lions, back at you. Trim Reaver, do you know what happens to people who watch Lions Talk Live and don't hit the like and subscribe buttons? Do you know? Question mark. You just made the list. Fair enough, fair enough. Coach Rock, good morning, Kurt. Mary, Coach Rock, 100%. Oh, yeah. And I'll go, yeah. Trina and Christina. Woo! You got to love the woos. Hookadoo. I'll be on the edge of my seat pushing my grit. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Trim Reaper, Mary Smith. Good morning. Mary Smith. I'll probably be on the floor. Hookadoo. Coach Rock. Hookadoo. That's where I'll be also. And there's some pacing thinking in there. All right. Nothing wrong with pacing while you're thinking. Miles Murray, both quarterbacks' fathers were MLB at the same time. Wonder if they played each other. Question mark. Like father, like son? Maybe. Queen Mary, Trim Reaper, let's bring all the wonderful grit this morning. We're bringing a lot of grit, aren't we? Coach Rock, Mary, I hope you are on the floor because of the great winning play of the horn, at the horn. We'll find out. Johnny out, let's go Detroit. Exclamation point. Hookadoo, Queen Mary, and Rock. Egon talking about hitting their stride. Derek Barnes should be at the top of that list. Yeah, he's coming into his own for sure. Mary Smith, yeah, screaming, what a win, Rocky. I'll take that. Mike, let's see, Mike K, L Tiger. There you go. Rock, Johnny L. Looks like you got the grit this morning. How are you feeling? We'll find out how he's feeling. Johnny L. I'll be soaking in sweat for sure. Hey, looking forward to it. Hookadoo. That's interesting, Miles Murray. I think that we'll give the Godfather a little extra grit. Probably accurate. Non-laughers. Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew starters. Not too many national media are picking against the Lions. Worries me a bit. Hey, they see all the power we bring. Brent, Miles Murray, that's interesting. Didn't know that, buddy. Laughing out loud. Johnny L, feeling good, pretty good. And you, Rock, we'll find out. Trim River, do y'all hear the Native American who drank a gallon of tea? Authorities say he drowned in his teepee. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Brent is laughing. Mary Smith is laughing at Trim Reaper. Trim Reaper is also laughing. Ryan, don't play them. We need them for the Tampa. It could be accurate. Yeah. Drady, for those players are questionable, so they can miss practice, I believe, but not sure if that's how it works. All right. Trim Reaper, Captain Jack is a beast? I think so. And people's opinion on him have changed exponentially. Remember when he drafted him, a lot of Lions fans didn't like the draft, and even his rookie year, they were like, man, we should have taken this guy or that guy. I don't think too many still feel that way, but you never know. Rock, Miles Parker with the grit facts. Gotta love facts. Michael, last time Chiefs won versus Lions in 2019 when Matt Stafford was still the Lions quarterback, exclamation point, and was playing injured during that game. Yes, I seem to recall that. I remember flying back from, was it Ireland on that flight, and I remember it kept going out. We had the fumble going into the end zone and nearly won the game. Johnny L, yes, he is. Trim. Brent, Ryan Fenley agreed. NFC games are more important. Probably. Yeah, Hookadoo. Arrowhead Stadium is going to be one of those rubber arrowheads with a rubber suction cup on it. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Ryan, thumbs up. Brent, Dre Day. Mahomes is still better than Goff, and I'm a huge Goff fan, but not by much. Yeah, okay, splitting hairs. Lions do or die vet 92. Greetings, salutations all. Why do the Lions only add guys that some other teams practice squad when when there is a true need at cornerback? My guess is it's just all it is. It just costs to acquire said player. You do have to have another team willing to depart from that player. I would have liked getting Newsome from Cleveland, but I also think part of that trade, why they didn't have to give up a lot of picks, is the cornerback they're requiring. A, fit what the Cleveland Browns system is. B, that contract attached to him. I don't remember his name. I want to say it's Campbell from Jacksonville. Xavier, Jared Goff is an awesome quarterback. I concur with an exclamation point. Johnny L, in Goff I trust. The Goff father is there. Dre Day, Mahomes' plays awareness is unmatched. Play awareness, yeah, especially it's hard to get to him because he feels that pressure maybe better than any quarterback in the league. Coach Rock, at the end of the day, at the end of a bad cold, Johnny L, thanks for asking. Hope you're doing well. Johnny L, at least it's the end, Rock. Michael, Mahomes don't have the paid-off referees on his side anymore, and it shows, exclamation point. Hey, we'll see if Daniel Thomas is right that there will be 13 penalties against the Lions tomorrow to try to keep it close. Hookadoo, that grit is starting to kick that Colts butt, Rock. I concur. Mary Smith, we all got this long as the refs don't sink us to the flags. You guys already know my theories about the refs. Like last week, I know I was talking about with you guys. I'll talk about it doing the live cast tomorrow. I'll talk about it, but I think if there's a 50-50 call, it's probably going to go towards the Chiefs. Big Belly Lou, I feel no matter who plays, we're going to win this game. Let's go Detroit. I like the way you're thinking, my friend. Rock, I'm all set for tomorrow night. Johnny L, say we got this grit. Woo, we got grit. Johnny L, yes, we do. Queen Mary, I hope you're right, Michael. There you go. Hookadoo, I agree, Mary. The Zebras are not friends of the Lions, exclamation point. But in the wild, the zebra is a snack for a lion. Ooh, that might be accurate. Mary Smith, I hope you're right, Michael L. Coach Rock put a spy on Mahomes and good coverage on Celts, and the grit will roll our way. Might be true. Phil says hello. Well, hello, Phil. Good to see you, my friend. Mike, KC's two corners both have a sub-70 quarterback rating when throwing to them. Got that from Gruden's breakdown of tomorrow night's game. Hey, thank you for that, Mike. Hey, good information there. Rock, hello, Phil. Mike K. Lions caught a case of poos. It could be accurate. Phil, Rock, Mary, Hookadoo, and I hope we eat them like a snack. Well, let's eat them on up. Lions Talk Live fan, is Aleem playing tomorrow? No, he is out for tomorrow. No, says Johnny. Dre, Aleem is out. Correct with that. All right, anyone, which referee crew we got tomorrow? I don't know offhand, unfortunately. Michael, do you think that Mary Smith example last year's matchup, Hutch was getting held the entire game to the fourth quarter when the refs finally called them on it? Yeah, funny how that works where it's not a penalty the entire game until the game's on the line. Lions do or die. Mahomes will be asking for all the flags. Probably accurate. Michigan Sports Huddle just woke up. What's the details this morning? Now you know. Knowing's half the battle. Dominic, good morning from Texas. Good morning to you, my friend. Thank you for waking up for the show. Mary, Michael, yes. Michigan Sports Huddle, dang close baseball game last night. It's Lauren, by the way. Yeah, I got you, man. The new channel. Gary, good salutations, Coach of Duke Crew. Could the results of this weekend's game matter to Campbell on who to play? Yes, I think it will be a factor to some degree, to be fair. Michael, thank you. Mary, do or die bet. That's why you should bring quality players in, not someone else's scraps. All right? Amy, good morning. Greetings, salutations, Dan, the Ultra Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Victory on Sunday night. Oh, yeah, I'll take that, Amy. Good to see you, as always, Amy. Michigan Sports Huddle. Good morning, Mary Smith, the Queen, and the rest of the Grit Duke crew. Back at you. Hookadoo. Lauren Danodamas predicts Lions wins 42-32. I'll hope he is correct with that. Michigan Sports Huddle. Hookadoo, man, I've missed him the last 2 weeks. Dang it. 100%. The Trim River. Lions don't lose again this entire season. Wouldn't that be something? JDC, tick, tick, tick. It's woo time! Exclamation point. Michigan Sports Huddle, is it possible that his high school seniors get NIL money? Yes, high school players in most states now can get NIL money. I don't think they even have to be seniors. The Trimmer, What you going to do when Lions Mania runs wild on you, brother? We'll find out. Coach Rock, I think it's Craig Warsaw crew that's doing the game. We'll find out. Yeah, I don't know offhand. Brent, thank you, Rock, with a thumbs up. Do or die. Maybe it's time to get a new team doctor and a new training staff. Maybe they'll do something. I don't know. Let's see. Mary, Michigan Sports Hollow, good morning. Hookadoo. Is that a good crew, Rock, or are they the deepest in the NFL's pocket? Well, they're probably all in the NFL's pocket. Mary, I love it. Trim. Rock, that crew has the most roughing the passer calls and also least amount of sacks due to this in the game, and they have the most red zone defensive penalties. We will have to play through this. Yeah, you're on the road. You're not going to get any favorable calls. You're going to have to play through it. Johnny Gas Sports, happy Saturday, Duke Crew! Exclamation point back at you guys, man. Hey, thanks for popping on yesterday. Xavier, the Lions have a lot of grit because they play as a team! Exclamation point. I think Shep is better than Glenn. He might be accurate there. Chad, good morning, Coach Dan and the awesome Duke crew. Woo! Been a minute. New schedule has me driving and listening while I'm driving. Love the show and what you do, Dan. Hey, thanks, Chad, for always being a part of the Duke crew, man. Yeah, keep your eyes on the road. Nick, I really like the play calling this year. Compared to the last 2 years, Kansas City will not be able to stop our run game. Their defense is just not good enough. Yeah, I think they're going to have to overcommit to shut it down or slow it down. Jan, 233 watching, exclamation point, hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you very much for that, Chad. Rock, so we touch Mahomes or it's hands off and no pushing. You better hit him not anywhere around the head. Rock can not end. All right. Mike K, L Tiger, there you go. Untouchable City Pep, great job. Tigers go Lions. Yeah, I mean, heck of a year by the Tigers. Unfortunately, you just couldn't get one more run when it was needed, right? Michigan Sports, Mike K. I stayed up watching that dumpster fire. It is what it is. JDC, smoke Mahomes like a good doobie. We'll see if they do. Michigan Sports, I agree, JDC, but he's on my fantasy. All right. Let's see, Lions do or die. Why no Asante Samuel Jr.? The only thing I can figure out is maybe those results that came out about his spine just have some teams cautious around him. And I get it. If you're a cornerback and you can't overly be physical in the running game and it's going to affect you in the passing game, probably don't want to sign him, though. Coach Rock, let's see, getting prepped for my granddaughter who's coming over for the weekend and wants to watch the Lions game tomorrow night, but I think I will have to record it for her and to watch it again, hopefully a win. Hey, yeah, it'd be great to rewatch a win. JDC, Michigan Sports, sounds like you are between a rock and a hard place as far as fantasy football. Yeah, 100%. Kevin, greetings, salutations, Dan and Duke Crew. Good morning to you, Kevin. Do or die, I think every game is important, so everybody should play. If they're able to go there, I think they will. It's just what's going to be the best choice for the entire season, right? Bo, Lions run the most on first down by a lot, exclamation point, successfully. Yes, they are. Michigan Sports, JDC, should I start Drake May instead? I'll leave that up to you. I don't know enough about fantasy football. Kurt, boss up, ball out. Will air at 8 a.m. following Lions Talk Live. Fair enough. The Trey Reaper. What up, Johnny Gas? Dre Day. If the players that were out are out for the season, I believe the team would get more big names players. But since they are not practice squad players, will fill in fine. Yeah, for a couple weeks for sure. Trey Reaper, boss up, ball out. Brought to you by Doobie Bay. All right, JDC. I am staying out of fantasy football. Michigan Sports Huddle. Good luck to you in your quest. There you go. Kevin, good morning. Kurt Steele. Kurt Steele says, good morning, Kevin. Be right back. Kurt is letting us know. JDC, Dre Force rocks, and he rolls. Remember, can't wait for Aline the Dream and the Egyptian Magician return. Man, you're not wrong. Both of them will be back pretty quick here. Hookadoo, happy trails, Duke Crew, one pride worldwide. Always good to see you, Hooks. Ryan, I thought MCDC said McNeil was going to get 25 snaps. He is officially ruled out. When he gets back, he may get 25 snaps, but it won't be tomorrow. Let's see, Michigan Sports, thanks, Coach. I had a feeling a kid in town that commented on Miami, Ohio, they have all kinds of media with him on it. Yeah, just from coaching at different levels. I want to say in Michigan, it became official that you could have NIL high school money like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. But yeah, more and more states are allowing it. It's just, I think legality, if you want to fight it, you're probably fighting a losing battle at this point. Anymore, have a blessed day and a glorious weekend, my friends. We'll see you next time. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. Back at you. JDC, tick, tick, tick. We're ticking away. Bo, happy trails, Duke Crew. All done dusted for another day. See you tomorrow. We'll see you then. Mary, have a great and blessed day. I'll see you all in the morning. It will be game time. Yes, it will. All balls, no D. Good morning from Twas and the Duke crew. And back at you. How you doing today, Anthony? Trim Reaper, have a great day. Coach and Duke crew. Woo! Oh, yeah. JD, I need some vodka and Mountain Dew after that Tigers game. Man, it probably was a long game for you, wasn't it? Michigan Sports, see you on Boss Up, Ball Out. We'll see you there. Mid should be back in a couple weeks, right? Yeah, the week 9 is when he's eligible at least to return. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. If you would be so kind before departing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. If there is breaking news, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.